Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. I'm going to be doing a little series on specialty in embossing stamps for leather work. And today I'm going to be featuring a leather work stamp by Tuning Star. And the letter stamp number is 537B. And I'm going to show you just how to use that stamp on your leather work. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this stamp. It is made out of brass and it's fully CNC machined, and you can see the detail in there, really nice. I think this one's called Peacock Feather, and again it's number 537B by Tuning Star, and I bought this on eBay. And it has this probably a 8mm or 5/16 steel shank, really good for its durability when you're embossing in leather. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I can see its orientation. Now this stamp here is pretty easy to see because it has this point at the front and you can see the other end here. So it's a little bit easier for orientating each time you emboss it or hit it into the leather. So let's soak our leather and we'll scribe a center line, or we'll mark a center line, and we'll start stamping, and I'll show you how this one works. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is on my project I want to draw a center line like that. And I'll do it with a pencil. Okay, and now I'll soak my leather at least a couple seconds in some warm water. Now I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to start this by lining it up with the front here, that pointed part with the line, and the back part with the other part of the line, so it's nicely lined up. And you could start anywhere really. I'm going to start in the middle here because this is just my sample. And make sure it's sitting properly, and then I'm going to give it one good whack with my mallet. We can see a really nice detail there in the stamp. Okay, so now I'm going to continue and I'm going to be lining up the outer edge with the edge I just stamped. And you want to be careful, you want to make sure that it is always parallel to that center line. And as I start continually going, I want to make sure it matches up. So I can start also along the center line and then fill it in with the stamp as I go, or I can stamp from either side and then start filling in the center. But I think filling in from the center line first to keep your pattern straight is the best. So let's try that. So again, line it up. Okay, so now I got that center. Let's start filling in the sides. I want to make sure I get a good view of how it's sitting right in between both. I flipped it around so I could see it properly to match up those. Okay, you could see the first bit there, looks really nice. And you have that staggered look along the leather work there. So I'm going to continue to get a whole pattern on here to give you that example or that sample of how it looks finished. There we go, nice pattern. Now, not all leather work, I usually do this for knife making sheaths, is perfectly straight on one edge. So what I like to do, if I'm trying to follow a contour, I will tilt the stamp on an angle so only partially, it will stamp only partially on one side, and that way you can make a nice line or follow a contour. I'll show you a little example of how to fill in this edge here. I don't want a full stamp here because it's going to go into my line, say. So I'm going to draw a little line here with my pencil, say like this. And say that's the edge of my leather work. So I want to stamp in this edge here, and I'll show you how I tilt the stamp and make that happen. Okay, so there you go. We got a nice edge, and that's all just from me tilting the stamp onto one side and just embossing what I need to stay away from that edge. And you can do this going through contours of your specialty made sheaths or whatever you're making out of the leather. Thanks again for watching Bonifab Custom as we went through the 537B leather stamp by Tuning Star. Stay tuned for more of these short videos regarding how to use the specialty stamps in your leather work. Don't forget to subscribe and push that button for more of our leather stamp series videos. Thanks.